So we've just arrived at the Duke of Wellington in Dalston to interview Laura J. Martin about her single launch for The Hangman Tree. So Laura, thanks a lot for joining us. Can you start by telling us a little bit about when you first started employing loop pedals and beat machines to kind of add to your kind of genres and your style with the flute?
Right, I guess I just really wanted to cater for what I was into. I'm really into making beats as well as playing the flute, and it's a bit maybe too much of a palaver to try and create everything live. So the loop station, I don't know, it allows me to do some things live as well as program my homemade, ready-made beats. Yeah, and that's how I got going really. And yeah. Okay,
and what's the inspiration behind that? Were there a particular artist that you saw doing that kind of thing? You thought, wow, I want to try that, or was it just off your own back?
Well, there's been quite a few artists that have used loop stations, but I think, I don't know, it just seemed to be the best thing to cater for being a one-man band. That was the main reason. The budget. One day I'll be able to afford a band, so yeah, that's the hope.
Indeed. Well, in the age of digital music, we're all feeling the pinch. But are there any particular artists which have influenced your sound as it's developed, would you say?
I mean, I've always listened to old music, really. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love a lot of recent and up-and-coming bands, but my main influences are from very old music, and I don't think I could go into all of them. There's too many.
Indeed.
But yeah, I guess David Bowie has been a big influence, but he's not someone who uses loop stations, so I can't think of an artist that uses loop stations that has influenced me, sorry, but yeah. I'm sure there has subconsciously. But.
Okay, for people out there watching who aren't familiar with your music, how would you describe it? If you were to be asked that question right now.
Audible. It's audible.
Well, I guess that's good. Not going for the silent music vibe. Which is nice.
Exactly. I guess I've got quite a folky voice, and I play flute, but I have beats as well, and I play the mandolin. I guess, I don't know, there's some really grotesque words out there to describe folk mixed with other genres, and folktronic is one of them, but I don't really want to do that, so yeah.
You've spent a lot of time in China and Japan and the Far East.
Just Japan.
Yeah. Would you say that's influenced your musical direction, or is that more just for a bit of a journey?
To be honest, the actual experience of being in Japan probably didn't influence me musically a huge amount. It's more of a case of maybe being influenced by watching kung fu films. But yeah, when I was in Japan, I mean, I was exposed to what we have to put up with here, the pop music. So I mean, there was some really, really cool bands that I checked out. Soil and Pimp being one of them, but yeah, I maybe subconsciously again, I don't know, but yeah, I think the kung fu films have been a bigger influence. Maybe.
Amazing. How long have you been making music? What was your first release, and when was it?
My first release was Doki Doki with First Word Records, just about a year ago. In terms of making music, actually, I've always liked making tunes, but in terms of really going for it, not that I'm really going for it, but yeah, I'd say a couple of years, something like that. Yeah.
Okay, and then has it been you trying to organise gigs, getting promo material out there? Have you been promoting yourself? Have you had people helping you out with that?
Well, when I first started out, I was involved in Knievel's live show, and I was encouraged, by Knievel and others to open up the stage for him, and I guess they were my first couple of gigs really. But yeah, so it was quite nice having a helping hand and a bit of a nudge. But now I don't know, I think it's just, well, word of mouth, and just every gig is really positive because you end up meeting someone, even if you only take away one contact, they build up, so it's great in that sense. Yeah.
Sure. And how did the Knievel Project come about? Did you know him personally, or did he come to you and say, hey, we should try this live thing? Or, in fact, tell us about the project. What was the actual project you did with Knievel?
The first thing I did with Knievel was play flute on his first single, in fact, Cranium Rock. And at that point, he himself was just getting to know what he wanted to do. And then I went to Japan, and then when I came back from Japan, it's like, Laura, come and be in my live show. I didn't have a job lined up or anything. I was like, hell yeah, let's do that. And then things just continued in that vein for about a year, and then a year or two, and then yeah, I integrated that with doing solo work, and yeah.
Sure. And do you work outside music, or is the music enough to support living costs and that sort of thing? Do you have a job, or are you just like a full-time musician?
Well, I do some teaching as well now and again, but yeah, they're quite minimal hours, so they don't really interfere with.
Sure. The only reason I wanted to ask is because obviously there's a lot with the digital sphere and music sales sliding, that sort of thing. Just wanted to see how you support yourself.
Right. Yeah. I'm skint.
Being skint but happy. Yeah. I like it. And the Hangman Tree, that came out, was it 2 days ago?
Yes, 24th. 3 days ago. Yeah.
And is that on First Word Records?
No, it's on Squirrel Milk Records. Yeah.
Fantastic. And what are your ambitions for the single? Are you going to try and get more gigs with it, or is it a precursor to another release?
Well, I've got quite a few gigs lined up in the near future, and I'm also playing the festivals. I don't know, I'm just going to play it by ear really. I have got an album's worth pretty much ready, so yeah, I'm just going to see what comes about, and what the best thing to do is to move forward.
Have you done some work with Alice Russell? Am I right in thinking that?
I did a remix for her.
Ah, great. Yeah. And was that you contacting her to say I want to remix your track, or did she come to you?
I think at the time I was on tour with her, and yeah, I was approached by TM Duke asking if TM Duke is Alice Russell's producer, and he asked me if I wanted to have a go at it. I think they asked quite a lot of people there, and then they selected the ones that they liked the best, and luckily mine was put on the 7-inch single. I was backing DJ Vadim's single, so it's, yeah.
Oh really? You did some work on Vadim's single as well, or was?
No. Vadim did a remix for Alice Russell.
Ah, I see.
And I did a remix for Alice Russell, and they were A-side, B-side on the 7-inch single for the remix album. It's quite a tricky thing to explain.
Bit of a tongue twister.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And so what's next for you musically? Are you going to be releasing an album, or is it just more shows, or just going to see what happens? Yeah,
as I said before, it's a case of playing these shows, the festivals, and yeah, I do have an album prepared, so yeah. Maybe fantastic. Another single or before the album, or just the album, I don't know as yet, but yeah. And
are you playing at festivals this year?
Yes.
Where can we see you?
Well, first up it's Soundwave Festival in Croatia, and then I'm going to be playing, I can't remember the order, but I think it's Camp Festival, and then Green Man Festival, and then Festival in the Isle of Wight, and yeah, I think that's the full stop there. Yeah.